Hello, I'm Archie Luxury and welcome to the Archie Luxury channel. Remember guys, like, subscribe and tell your dickhead friends about my YouTube channel. Man cannot survive on Google Ads alone. I depend on paid reviews, Patreon sponsorship and donations to keep me full-time. Okay guys, today we're going to discuss something very, very nasty. Lebanese crime gangs targeting Gumtree sellers of high-end luxury goods. Now, this is I got to be honest with you. You got to be damn careful. This is a story coming out of Sydney, and it's something that I want to bring your attention to. One of the popular online sales forums in Australia is a thing called Gumtree. It's kind of like your Americans' Craigslist, except it's actually owned by eBay, believe it or not. And what it does is you're able to list products you're selling. You can put a few pictures, and it enables you to sell these without paying any commissions whatsoever. And it's become very, very popular. The only problem with Gumtree is that, just like Craigslist and eBay, it's become a bit of a mecca for scammers. And the Sydney police actually, they have a special Middle Eastern crime squad. That's right. They have the New South Wales police have a Middle Eastern crime squad to crack down on Middle Eastern scammers and Middle Eastern crime. And I've got to tell you, this is coming from Sydney. I've spoken to a few luxury watch dealers, and they've told me that you've got to be very careful when you sell luxury goods in Sydney. Apparently, there's a nasty Lebanese crime gang who is targeting the sellers of high-end luxury goods, and they're basically approaching these sellers and saying, hey, I'd like to have a look, yada, yada, yada. And if you were foolish enough to meet them at your home, or they get details of yourself, they're basically burglarizing your house and taking said luxury goods. They're also working on the premise that somebody who's selling a Rolex Submariner is more likely to have expensive handbags, more likely to have some expensive luxury other items in the home, and it's a good place to start. So I've got to tell you, you've got to be damn careful. If you are selling second-hand luxury goods, you want to be very, very careful with how you handle the sales process. You really need to be careful. Now, let me give you a story that happened a number of years ago. This is from a friend of a friend of a friend. It was also reported in the Sydney Morning Herald. So it's basically, there was a guy in the North Shore, that's an upmarket part of Sydney, who wanted to sell his Ferrari 360 Medina. And what happened is he had a buyer who came out, a Lebanese buyer. He came out to have a look at this Ferrari for sale. The guy turns up, they're talking about the car, they're looking at it. The Lebanese guy pulls out a shotgun, a pistol, puts it in the guy's mouth and says, give me the keys, the logbooks and the service papers. And you know, that's how it goes in the big smoke. I mean, this is Sydney is a vicious, nasty city. This is a very, very nasty place. The Middle Eastern crime gang, they told him that the car would be already in a shipping container somewhere on its way to the Middle East. That's basically what's happened. It's a Middle Eastern crime gang who are getting a bit of stock. And when you sell expensive items, whether it's a Ferrari, an AMG Mercedes, a Rolex watch, you've got to be very, very careful. You got to look at the type of buyer who would buy this. And if it is a bit gangsterish, be damn careful. Be damn careful. I got a good friend of mine in Sydney who had a Audi R8. That's the supercar sort of Audi. And he bought it and he sold it to a dealer. I said, "What did you do that for? You lost all this money." He said, "Look, I don't want to deal with the Lebanese crime gangs." And that's what Sydney's become. It's become nasty, vicious, and mean. These are the mean streets of Sydney. If you're selling prestige goods, you be careful of the Lebanese crime gangs. They will spin you a convincing story. They'll spin you a convincing story, and they'll come out and they'll burgle your home. And if you've got a nice Merc in the driveway, they'll take it as well. I'm Archie Luxury, reporting on the grim reality that is life in Sydney, Australia.
Okay.